Hi all, and welcome to a new episode of Hemargroup, part of the monthly video interviews. Today with us there is Franco Burlando, CEO and co-founder of Lighthouse Tech, an inspiring startup from Ticino. And as always, Andrea Moroni Stampa, our CDO and head of engineering. Hi all, welcome.
Hello, good
Hello.
morning to you.
Hi, everybody.
Without further ado, Franco, can you shortly introduce yourself and what is Lighthouse Tech, what you're doing of such inspiring your inspiring story in Ticino?
Yeah, with pleasure. I come from the optical and eyewear glass industry. I've been working for 35 plus years, and 5 years ago I decided to start adding value to the eyewear frames. As you all know, it's pretty evident that eyewear frames are used to protect from the sunlight and to correct vision. And I thought that because we have them positioned here, it is a perfect wearable device to add value to it. So I decided that it may be a good idea to look around and to do exactly that. So we started talking, by we, I mean me and my team at that point. We started talking to the blind associations, and LTH01, our device, was started.
Okay, thank you, Franco. You must be very proud of your startups. And as you can see, we all three wear glasses. So yes, I think it's your business.
Absolutely. So let me just very briefly, if I may, Saverio, let me just briefly explain.
Sure.
LTH01 is a mobility device, which means that it helps blind and visually impaired people travel safely outdoors. As you all know, the white cane protects this group of individuals from objects that are located at ground or low-lying level, but it is totally ineffective from the waist up, which means that they are susceptible to getting hurt by low-lying branches, by any sort of obstacle that is in their way. So what is LTH01? It is basically an eyewear frame where we positioned sensors in front that scan the environment around the user and alert the individual by means of a vibration on the temple of the frames itself or on the white cane.
Okay, thank you, Franco. This is really an interesting device. And discussing about electronic device, Andrea, as always, I ask you to shortly introduce yourself for the people who don't know you, and obviously also explain what is Hemargroup and what's such a special, partnership with Lighthouse Tech.
Yes, Saverio, thank you. I'm Andrea Moroni Stampa. I'm the head of engineering at Hemargroup, and I cover the role of CTO also. And the story with Franco and Lighthouse is kind of special because it all started thanks to the Ticino Accelerator Boldbrain program, backed up by the Fondazione Agire and the Canton of Ticino. And there, Hemargroup also offer a prize of some development or consulting hours, and this happens yearly in Ticino, in the second half of the year. And Lighthouse was at that moment a very rough concept, rough idea of Franco and his friends, and they wanted to create this new product and go from the concept, from the idea into a prototype, and from the prototype there then into a serial or market-ready device. And that's exactly where we are now. So after 1 year of hard work, we got to the point where we have a couple of prototypes working, where the electronics has been designed and produced by Hemargroup, and this is actually our core business. So getting an idea into a real product. And now, right now, we are facing the industrialization phase where the prototypes get some iterations, some review, and get ready actually for the real market and to be sold actually to the public. And this will happen in the next couple of months. Of course, there are also the financial and general marketing and management parts where Hemargroup also gave a hand on the technical side, trying to push the startup to the next level. And our goal is to get into production as soon as possible with the device so that we can get back to our core business. Our core business is the production of electronic devices. Is it just a PCB or assembled PCB or a final and finished product with the logistics behind it, so before and after the production process. With Franco, we have a very constant and productive collaboration, as we usually also have with other startups in the electronic area.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. So I'd like to just, I have a question for both of you. Maybe Franco, can you start by answer to this question? So we discussed about the partnership also in the strategy and the growth between Hemargroup and the startup, your startup. Why do you think it's important to have such a business partner? Because a lot of startups, I think they want to do everything in-house. And also, why Ticino? Why you choose Ticino to launch your venture?
Ticino is an incredible breeding ground for startups and innovation. We were supported by, as Andrea mentioned, by Fondazione Agire through their Boldbrain Challenge, by the local universities called SUPSI and USI, and we still have their support. And of course, we had the support of Hemargroup, which was crucial in implementing our product. I think Ticino is fast growing. It is very dynamic. It is very open and to new ideas. People don't get scared or turned off by new ideas because, as you know, startups do not have money. It's almost by definition, otherwise it would be a normal commercial venture. You go out, you start your business, and off you go. If you are labeled a startup, not only is it innovative, you're bringing something innovation to the market, but you're also seeking for help. You cannot do it on your own. You cannot hire engineers. You cannot hire marketing people. So you need to be able to grow from the bottom up slowly. And to do so with very few means, you need the support of everybody. And if the everybody means people that are overly qualified, that are greatly qualified, like Hemargroup, it's value added for us. And the results, Andrea mentioned that we've been working hard for the past year. We've had a very, very strong and close-knit cooperation with their team, with your team of engineers at Hemargroup. And I'm very happy to say that we are now testing the product, our actual second round of testing. The first round was successful, but we needed to work out more details. And thanks to the collaboration and cooperation, we're now ready to do further testing, which should be final, which will enable us in a period of maybe 2 or 3 months to start going into the market.
Thank you, Franco. So Andrea, also for you, this question, why do you think it's important to support as a Hemargroup, the startup ecosystem of the local region or also the Switzerland entirely or internationally also startups?
Well, startups, they all have the same issue. All startups have great ideas, and the only issue is to transform this idea into a real product or real services. Actually, not a real one, but a sellable one, something that somebody can buy and you can make money out of it. In order to get there, you need to feed this ecosystem, the whole ecosystem, not only with cash, with money, but also with expertise. And I'm not talking about smart money, which is very important, but also the expertise and the willingness to help the startups grow or the idea grow, and then the startup also as well. In Hemargroup, we have this philosophy of being like very future planning, like trying to get a startup in the early stage and transform that startup, that people in the next big industrial customer, the typical one that you see in January. You discuss about the prices and then you see it in the next January. But a long journey needs to start at some point, and that's actually where the whole strategy starts. And by doing so, a mechanism of trust, a mechanism of quality, of getting to know the product from the very heart and the very last piece of hardware components in it, it's invaluable. And the Hemargroup knows this part very well and tries to get the most out of this experience, trying to help the startupper, growing the concept, growing the idea, and at the end, growing both partners' business. And this is the whole journey. The ecosystem, as I said, must be present not only locally but also regionally and internationally. Why not? Because the communication is the key. For example, for a startup is also very important the IP protection. It's also very important the marketing side. Who designs the logo? Who can open some supply chain or customer? So market entries and market development. All these parts, they need to be connected with the technical side, maybe from Hemargroup for the electronics or from others for the mechanics, for the packaging and so on. And all these needs to grow all together in order for the startup to have a success.
Okay, thank you, Andrea, for your answer. And so discussing again regarding the state of your project, Franco, for what I understood, basically now you're doing some testing and you're preparing the field for the launch on the market, basically. As a personal advice also for other startuppers, what do you think are the key points of this part of the journey? And if you can also give some advice for our viewers or who will watch this video on YouTube.
Teamwork. I think that is the number one thing. It's more important than having money, than having good ideas. More important than anything else. You need to be able to be part of a team. You need to be able to work together. And I don't want these to be empty words. I'm very, very serious. I have 35 plus years in this industry, and I have always worked with people. I have worked very closely with people. I have not worked against people. We always work together, and we try to unify our objectives, which are not always the same. When you are part of a team, there are different ideas from different people. And as a startup, you have to try to coalesce these ideas, try to put them together the best you can, and try to get the most effort towards one common goal. And if you do that, then the other things follow suit. The good ideas will become reality. The cash will come in. People will trust what you say. You will gain credibility because they see that your startup is not just one crazy person with a crazy idea, but it's a group of dedicated, smart people that are working towards one goal.
Okay, thank you, Franco. So we can say that the lonely journey is very short in the end. Andrea, from your experience, also you have seen a lot of startups as customers. So do you agree with Franco that teamwork is really the keyword to go, or do you want to add also something else regarding your experience in the industry?
No, I completely disagree. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, the teamwork is really the key, and I extend this concept not only a teamwork inside the company, could be a startup, could be an industrial company, but also outside. So as I was saying before, the whole underground, the whole ecosystem, it can be seen as a team. And it's sometimes difficult to get and use the trust of others not being the same family, not being the same company, not being the same crew. But it is very effective if you can use this trust and apply this trust to other possible team members which can help you. but be careful, because the difficulties are all around. There are also the bad guys sometimes, and you don't need to overtrust others, but having the possibility to grow in a safe environment, and this can be done at the regional or international level, can also help further develop the concept, and at the end being successful, which is what we all try to be.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. I think that the interview is really coming to the end. So I might ask you, both of you, to give your final thought, or maybe a personal advice for our viewers before ending this interview. Maybe Franco, do you want to start first?
Well, one of the questions that I'm always asked by peers and by people that I know is, why don't I have the product developed in China? And this goes back to what we were talking before about teamwork. And Andrea correctly pointed out that teamwork extends outside, more so for a startup, because remember, we cannot hire engineers, we cannot hire marketing people, because we don't have the funds to do so. So you rely on outside people, so the team extends to the outside. If this outside means Ticino, that is welcoming, that it's a place where it's a breeding ground for startups, where the whole ecosystem is based on promoting this type of activity, then you're off to a good start. You have a better chance than if you work with a company that is located 9 hours away, time-wise. Communications are a little bit more difficult. Quality may be perhaps an issue, only because you're not there to oversee operations as they develop. The contacts are more scattered and in between, so it just makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to stay on top of things. Let's not forget that startups are small, so China, it's hard. If you go with a small project, they will probably not look at you very much. So oftentimes we have this image of going to China because it is cheaper, which it is in many respects. But if you factor in all the various components that you need to be able for your company to be successful, the margin that you are saving is, I would say, negligible. So definitely my advice is try to stay home. Logistics demonstrate in the past year that is also a wise move, not to put yourself too far away with your supply chain, because there are transport issues that may be involved that were not a problem when we started out Lighthouse, but they are a problem today. So we're very happy because of all these reasons that we're staying home, we're staying close to home and developing Lighthouse Tech.
Thank you, Franco. Andrea, your turn.
Well, my wish to startups and to technological people, as Franco is saying, is not to stay home, is to go abroad, but to return home and make the from the home region the best out of it. Electronics is a tough environment. It's worldwide tough environment. Nowadays, it's in complete crisis because of the raw components, raw materials crisis, but it's surviving, and it's something that will always be needed. It's something that comes in handy from the first moment when you wake up to the last moment when you go to sleep, and even while you are sleeping. So electronic is our world, manufacturing our passion, as our motto in Hemargroup says. We should be continuing to help the startups grow, to have something wealthy coming out of this substrate, of this underground, and the staying home and try to ask your experts, your local experts, is the best way to go also for a fast acceleration process. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. So this is really the end of our video interview. I would like to personally thank you, both of our guests, Franco and Andrea, for being here and sharing your experience. If you need more information, you can always find the contact information in the comments below our video. So if you need more information, if you want more information about Franco startups, Lighthouse Tech, and also our Hemargroup services for startups, you can always find there. And thank you for your time. And we will see in the next part of the month video interview. Thank you.
Thank you, Saverio. Thank you,
Thank
Andrea.
you.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.